Welcome, everyone. It's Vedius here with another VOD review. You could be watching this live here with the joyous Twitch chat. They ask thought-provoking, engaging, mind-blowing questions, such as, Vedius, what color are your eyes? And Vedius, if you could jump, how high would you want to be able to jump? And it's thought-provoking things like this that you could be a part of if you only tuned in to my Twitch and stream live on twitch.tv/VediusOfficial. But in any case, you're going to be watching the VOD. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. We're here for Griffin versus G2 Esports. This game happened today. We're fresh off the press. We're not going to be doing the old thingy. We're going to be doing it this way. We're going to be going through the draft live. Let's go. We're jumping straight into it. It's your boy Vedi. Griffin versus G2. A lot of people weren't sure what to expect from this. A lot of people were worried for G2. I heard about the scrim results. It was scary. It was scary. But they performed well. So let's figure out why. So Griffin, they start off by banning Rakan. That makes sense. Mickey's one of the best Rakan players in the world. It's also just a good champion. Syndra, they want to take that away from Perks, but also I think it's a good blind pick. The Quinn surprises me. This could be something that maybe they heard or were worried about in scrims. I believe Wonder has had a Quinn game somewhere, but I don't think that was a try-hard serious game. I think it was like at the end of the split against XL or something. I'm pretty confident he can play Quinn, but this surprised me. The reason why I think that they banned this was because they wanted to first pick the Renekton. That's what this would suggest to me. Pantheon, Kiana, Kale, so they just consider those strong and they want them taken off the board. Looks like there was no specific things, which is fine. So I think bans aren't too crazy. It does leave open a couple of strong picks, like Yumi's open, for example. What else is open? I'm trying to think. Gangplank is open. He's really strong. In any case, I'm pretty sure they first picked Renekton. Yeah, they do. Oh, I'm turning casters off. Sorry, casters. So pretty safe blind. You can also flex it between top and mid. Ooh, that was a quick response from G2. The Kai'Sa early surprises me a little bit. Yankus is Elise. Look at this man. Look how happy he is. He's like, woohoo, I get to play League of Legends. But the Kai'Sa Elise priority is a little surprising. This already suggests, like, you can pair a lot of strong supports with this to make it a good lane, like Nautilus, for example. But this kind of like, they're keeping their options open. You have lanes to play around. The higher priority on Elise. It's something that LPL teams do a lot. And like, doesn't really give any clear indication of where they're going with the draft. Very, very common. You see from Griffin specifically, the AP in the jungle with the Talia. Scales very well. Also combos very well with the Renekton as well. Very easy to set up plays on the top side of the map. And then I like the takeaway of the Nautilus because that's what they're expecting G2 to go for. So this is also just a safe support to go for, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Pardon me. Oh, and Leona. So, fun fact, I spoke with Mickey at length, and I really mean at length, about this champion. And he was like, she's really one-dimensional, she's really easy to play around, I don't think she's very good. So then I see him lock in Leona today, and I'm like, hello? Mickey? Hello? Have you been trolling me? And even today, I tweeted at him, and he's like, yeah, it's still kind of actually, it's like, it's not great. It's kind of, yeah. And I'm like, all right, Mickey, whatever. So, clearly they consider this a good answer into the Nautilus. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just because it's hard to all in onto a Leona. It also gives you a strong 2v2 with the Kai'Sa. I think it acts as an engage tool because they have the Elise, and they probably already have something in mind that they want to run topside. But I think it provides engage. I think it's good CC. I wonder if Twitch chat has any ideas. What have they got? I hate G2's comp so much. Right, Jared does not like what G2 is running with right now. Whew. And yeah, so I think that The main reason for the Leona is it's good setup. I think it's hard for the Nautilus to engage when there is a Leona on the team because Leona can just body block. You act as a good face check, and you can set up for things like the Kai'Sa play as well. So yeah, I think it is fine. I was just surprised. I wonder if we'll see it more and more at Worlds because I think it can be pretty good. So what we can see like already is a bit of team fighting. Some early gameplay. Already you can see that they could look to play around bot. This comp kind of wants to play around top already because they have a strong top jungle duo. So you kind of have an idea what this comp now needs. The problem is I know what the drafts are. So actually it's completely redundant me saying this. So they ban away the Xayah because, well, it's strong into Kai'Sa. It also does very well with the Nautilus. Twisted Fate. Ooh, the Twisted Fate is quite interesting. I wonder why they banned Twisted Fate. I wonder if they just think Twisted Fate is strong, or if they're actually afraid of G2 playing it. That's surprising, because bear in mind, they haven't played this once. They haven't played this champion at all, and that's a Fnatic pick. So I'm surprised by that. And then Ezreal, so that's also a safe AD carry. You're kind of forced now onto, what AD carries could you play? Well, we know he plays Lucian. Like, you could go Draven, maybe, but against a Leona, that's dangerous. But you'd have a really strong 2v2 at the very least, and you'd have a pretty strong early game as well. Why am I blanking on all AD carries? You could go Varus, but again, dangerous. I think he's a little forced into Lucian just because of the Leona. Like, if you take something that is low in mobility, Leona's engage is really strong. Kog'Maw, Caitlyn, Trist. Yeah, I think Trist is probably solid. Yeah, I think you'd have a pretty good 2v2. You'd scale pretty well. You'd have good disengage tools as well. I think it would be really hard for a Leona. Yeah, I think you could have gone Trist if you wanted to go for a little bit more of a scaling option. This is pretty cool. The Orianna blind pick, we're seeing that more. We saw it from Rookie. We saw it from Demonte as well. Well, it was a last pick, but we're seeing more and more Orianna, the buffs to her ultimate, bringing her into prevalence. But yeah, I think Twitch chat was right that I would have quite liked Tristana here a little bit more to give you a little bit more scaling options. And then they go for the Aurelia. I think Aurelia does really well into just mages in general. We will see Chovy get a solo kill later on, but a good Aurelia player can do really well into Orianna. It's painful early, but you get to a point where you can easily kill Orianna, and pardon me, you outscale on side. The inherent problem with Griffin's comp is it's on a timer because, God, I ate food, so now I'm just like, I need to burp all the time. The inherent problem with Griffin's comp is it's gated by time because it's going to fall off later into the game. They're engaged. Their most reliable way to start fights is the Nautilus and maybe finding picks with the Talia. But it's on a timer. They spike really hard in the mid game, like 1-2 items where they're really good, but they don't scale super well. And you can already see that with Kai'Sa and Orianna, G2's team comp later on is only going to get stronger as the game progresses. And I think that the 2v2 bot is actually very safe and they can look to play around it if they want. The most dangerous lane for G2 is this one in mid. Irelia and Talia is very strong. So basically, like, Griffin have a strong top side of the map that they can very easily play through. And in theory, you should be able to build advantages in this. But if we assume that the lane suddenly gets a lot harder because Leona just does really well into Nautilus, then maybe it's not as easy finding advantages. But I think that Griffin basically put them in, and that this was very surprising. But the reason why I think this is very good is because I don't think this ever kills this. Renekton should not be able to 1v1 an Ornn. And I actually think Ornn will get to a point where he can actually outtrade this guy. You get early armor, and you have more than enough wave clear, and I think that, like, Ornn does a surprising amount of damage that people don't respect. So, like, early levels, this doesn't do anything. So all he has to be careful of is not getting dived before level 6. Because once he hits 6, you can't dive an Ornn anyway. It's pretty impossible, at least for a good Ornn player. So at 6, it's easy for Jankos to play around top. I think Jankos can also play around bot. I'm always a little bit skeptical about Elise and like scaling comps. I think champions like Gragas are just inherently much better. But you could argue that for Jankos, this is just a really big comfort pick for him. He knows that he has lanes that he can play around. And it's also a good source of magic damage. But yeah, scale, team fight. I think the Elise becomes a little bit irrelevant later on. Whereas Griffin want to try and really snowball their two solo laners. So you should expect Tarzan to be playing around these two lanes. And he can look to play bot if he wants, but I think it's hard against the Leona. That's at least my initial impression. But all G2 need to do is scale and survive. So that's kind of what I want to see. How's Renekton into Ori? I mean, at early levels, it's probably really good. But at level 6, I think it gets really hard for Renekton. I mean, a good Renekton player, maybe. But I could see that being really difficult. Orianna would definitely lose farm early levels, but you rush like early Seeker's Arm Guard. And I don't think Renekton does anything. So. Also to prevent Griffin from taking Elise Renekton. Yeah, that's a good point too. That is a good point. Good job, Twitch chat. Both Dom and us were of the opinion that G2's comp doesn't really scale, and that's way too much magic damage. They don't think this scales? That's interesting. I'm curious as to why they would think that. I mean, you could make the argument that it gets hard for Orianna to play in the late game because she's like a low mobility mage against a lot of things that can dive her. And your only real damage source is the Kai'Sa in the late game. Because these two can also easily stack magic resistance. So I think there's an argument to be made that because there's only one source of damage, the G2 don't have the best scaling comp. But I think this one's a lot easier to execute. Because I don't think this comp exactly gets easier to play in the late game just because of this. I think that none of these kill this. And I think it's really difficult to get through this front line. So I think that they have a very easy back line, or they have a very easy front line to like play behind. So that's why I think this comp outscales. But I'd have to listen to Alice's reasoning. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing. I think it's really hard. In the mid game, I think this comp is really strong. But I think the longer the game goes, it gets a lot harder. At least that's my opinion. But I don't think Alice is an idiot. So I'd have to listen to his reasoning for why he thinks that. It's interesting. But yeah, the only thing I can think of is that they could, they're limited in damage. And if that's his argument, I could see it. Because this champion will do less and less damage as the game progresses. Because she typically just relies on Magic Pen. And this champ will also struggle because there's going to be a lot of magic resistance. And there should probably be a lot of magic damage here. And like going full crit Kai'Sa isn't really where you get the most of her damage from. So it depends, probably. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I could see his argument if he's saying like there's too much magic damage. And if they just itemize MR, then it will be harder for them. Yeah, especially if she's the only one doing AD damage, then maybe I could see it. Okay, this is good from G2. They see what... Griffin group up as a 5 to force Prio into enemy jungle. Force Prio, that's not the right word. Because they have 5 members, they can force into enemy jungle. And the only way the G2 answer is if they group up and answer. But their level 1 is Giga weak with Elise and Orianna. So they don't go for it, which is why Griffin are confident they can make this play. So Griffin want to try and split the map. Suggests that they heavily want to play towards top side. Make that one's life impossible. Ooh. Who placed this ward? Okay, so one really cool thing that you'll notice a lot of junglers doing is they start Trinket, they then drop wards like this, they reset, and then they trade this for the sweeper. And so Jankos, by putting that ward down, they get information on the path of Tarzan. Pardon me. so they can see what Tarzan's up to. And then Caps comes along. And he basically makes life difficult for... the problem for him is he has the wave pushing towards the Aurelia, which isn't great. But the thing is, he wasted time, which is really good. Because notice that Jankos has done a full clear on his bot side of the map, whereas Tarzan is yet to even... well, he didn't finish the Raptors, but he's also slow towards Krugs, which means Jankos has plenty of time to move towards Raptors and could even look for a gank mid, as Chovy does a bit of an all-in. Oh my word, and Wonder steals that? Alright, Tarzan's doomed. It's over. It's actually over. Wait, is Ender here? Oh, thanks for the raid, Ender. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so jungle is doomed. Jungle is completely doomed. Tarzan's so screwed. He's still on level 2. He's really far behind. I can't believe that happened. Solo laners of G2 screwing Tarzan over completely. That was really good from G2. I can't believe Wonder... but just like... I mean, if you want to meme LS, if you really want to trigger him... so you send him this clip. So you send him that, and you're a rank 1 player in the world, by the way. Trust me, it'll trigger him. I do love LS. Just bear that in mind. I'm a big fan. I enjoy his streams. I love his content. But if you want to trigger him, just that's how you do it. So what have we got? So Tarzan did his blue. Then he goes to his Scuttle Crab. Notice how much time Jankos is level 4, by the way, because he stole some XP off of Caps. But notice how much time he's spending around mid. He wants to make sure that Caps doesn't get shut down by this Aurelia early levels. Because like this is the most dangerous part for the Orianna. When it's like early in laning phase, when you don't really have much itemization. I actually quite like the phase rush because I think it's really good against things that are very mobile. It gives you a lot of extra mobility. And then as we expected, Tarzan playing towards top. Wonder's able to invade it, and Tarzan's just trying to get some XP back. So Jankos, because he's playing on the bot side of the map, remember the map was split, means that he's just kind of looking for something bot. Bit of a face check there from the hands. Did flash for flash. So both junglers are a little like... Their clears are really kind of messed up right now. Because Jankos' Raptors and Krugs have not been fully cleared, which means that the first wave of camps has not been killed, but the same has been applied here. So Tarzan is not going to get a lot of experience for clearing his jungle now, because none of the camps have actually been cleared. But the same is said for G2 on the top side. So I'm not a jungle expert, but Tarzan has two options. He should have either tried to clear both of them and then continue to keep the map split, so he's getting high amounts of XP because these will have reset, or he needed to do a full clear around his jungle earlier, which he hasn't done. So his early XP is going to be really screwed, basically. Whereas Jankos, his bottom side camps will be respawning, so if he just does top to bot, then he will eventually, he can clear out this top side and he can get more XP from doing these. So Jankos, who already has an XP advantage, should be even further ahead in the jungle. And right now he's pathing towards top just to avoid the, to help cover Wonder. But then he should immediately, oh, actually, he just goes straight for the gank. Holy moly. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So he obviously sees Tarzan, but he doesn't know where Tarzan's gone. For all he knows, Tarzan is still topside. But I guess he believes that they win the 2v2. Yeah, and then they just... Because, I mean, Sword is super overextended here. He burns his flash really early. Yep. Damn, that was good. That was a big misplay from Sword, I think. Well, because the thing is, right, if we just go back to the wave earlier, what they want here is they want to clear the next wave. Pardon me. They want to clear this next wave so that the next minion wave from Sword bounces underneath the tower and then bounces back. But this is what screws it, because Wonder sets up a bit of a freeze, so now Sword is overextended. So Tarzan left too early, I think. And remember, Renekton has a ward here too. I don't know. I don't think, like, Griffin is playing this terribly. They could have done so much to, like, prepare for this, and they didn't do any of it. So they rightfully got punished. But that was good from Wonder. I respect that. Like, look at what he does with the wave, though. Look at this. Look, look, look. So you can see how he like, holds it here. He's then afraid of Sword coming back in. But Sword, once this, got dead, so that the wave bounces back towards him. So now he overextends, and he greeds. And he gets punished for it. And then, because he loses his flash, and because Wonder's going to get 6 first, because he already had an XP advantage, because Sword was playing 2v1, remember? Oh my god, so, like, this is just a snowballing cascade. You guys don't even realize how, so, where are we at? 457? We're like 2130. Okay, so this all starts here. This is where things go wrong for Griffin. Because Tarzan's clear gets delayed. Okay? Then, after it gets delayed, his Krugs, rankable player by the way, gets stolen. Okay? Gets stolen. So Tarzan's really screwed. Right? So then he does his blue to get level 3, and then Scuttle Crab, and then he comes top to leech more XP. But this puts Griffin behind. So Wonder's 1v2, so even though he's down in CS, he has an XP advantage. Then they stick around for ages, right? To secure some plates, fine. But then, again, remember, the whole of this jungle has not been cleared yet. And Sword is now down in XP. Even though Tarzan's caught up a little bit, it's hurt Sword. And then Wonder sets up the wave to allow Jankos to come in, and they set up the play. And this is why G2 is really good. Because you can see how, like, one thing led to another, and, like, they see these small things, and they punish you for it. That was cool. That was good shit. Good job, G2. But also, like, that was terrible from Griffin. So now, Wonder has the wave pushing up. Jankos has now been able to clear his top side. He wants to clear bot, but he can't yet. Because he knows the Wonder's got 6, and they want to dive. So Jankos still only level 4. Bear in mind, these first camps have all been cleared. So notice how both junglers still level 4. Okay? Sword face checks to put a ward down, because he knows that he might get dived. And because Talia had to clear the whole jungle and wants the path bot to take out this, it's doomed. So this Renekton, these two winning solo lanes that want to get ahead early, completely screwed. And it's all because of the early pathing and what happened in the early jungle. Yanko's big brain. Yanko's big brain. Great jungler. Oh no. Okay. So, what happens now? It's Tarzan small brain. I mean, yeah, I think, like, Tarzan screwed his top laner. Tarzan got outsmited by an Ornn, by the way, with an auto attack, by the way. Just by the way. Yeah, you're right, Ender. He kills Sword twice with his pathing. He doesn't path top to compensate for the dive, and he overstays top. People call Sword a bad player, but I mean, I think Sword did not have a great game either. But what happens here? So, okay, so first, if you're going to, like, move into enemy jungle, I think you actually need to have prio bot. Just because you have 3 people here, this is not having prio. This is 2 people walking into the river without actually having prio. They force the flash out of perks, and Lahens doesn't have his flash because of that early play that happened. So he dies. This is not having prio. I just want people to understand what having prio means is that when you push a wave, okay? When you push the wave, when you push a wave, and there's like minions here, right? The enemy... Oh, why can I drag this? That's not what I want. The enemy AD carry is forced to come and catch this. So Perks would be here, right? And because Perks can't move, because he has to catch this wave, now they have prio. What they did was literally just walk into a river, which they didn't have control over, without any vision. This is bad. Because you don't know where anyone is. You literally don't know where anyone is. And there's no reason for Jankos not to be bot side. Because he just dived top. So he's obviously going to path bot. Yeah. And also G2 had reset. I don't know. There are so many reasons why Griffin shouldn't be doing this. There are so many reasons. And even if, just for the record, even if they land this hook onto Perks, maybe they kill him. Maybe. He does have heal. But yeah, that was really bad. Griffin shouldn't have done that. Tarzan's trolling. What? I think Tarzan's having a great game. So Perks is like, whoa, what are you doing here? So he flashes. All right, we're back to top lane. Wonder's going to die. All right, why does Wonder die? We don't get to see because we didn't get. So Tarzan paths immediately up towards top side. Wonder goes for a cheeky trade, ends up getting punished. All right, Tarzan's back on the map. It's okay for Wonder though because you'll notice that he had a huge wave stacking up. He loses like 7-8 CS, which isn't great obviously, but not the end of the world. G2, because I think Jankos reset after the kill, right? Oh no, he was just clearing his bot side. I think he should immediately go to Drake there, but I think he wants to just get closer to 6. Yeah, he probably assumes that he has time as well, because they push in bot, and then they should go to Drake now. And then Chovy is resetting. Yeah, this is fine. Ooh, Cap stealing Raptors as well. That's good. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, like, Viper and Lehens is forced to play defense because jungler is bot side. Sorry, enemy jungler is bot side. Their own jungler is top side, so they're forced to play on the defense. So Cap's TP's back to mid. TP on Orianna can be quite difficult to use, by the way. I much prefer taking, like, a defensive summon spell like heal or barrier or something because of the all-in power that things like Irelia has. So let's think. We're approaching 10 minutes now. What does G2 want to do next? Well, I don't think they spike particularly hard on one item, so they probably just kind of want to keep looking for opportunities. Tarzan does have a level advantage now over Jankos, just because I think some of the... he's been able to clear his camps, whereas Jankos hasn't. Did he get his red? Did Jankos get... Yeah, he did. Jankos got his red. Yeah, I just think Tarzan has been able to clear his jungle, and he's also been leeching XP, and he also got a kill recently. So, I think he also killed a target that was a higher level than him. I don't know if in a 2 versus 1 if that influences it at all, but I know that if you kill someone who's a higher level than you, you actually get a lot of experience for it. So the swap comes out because the Drake is already gone, so Griffin want to be in a position to be able to contest the Herald, which makes sense. They're also ahead of the swap, which means they can play for plates. And this is where they're ahead in tempo. They made the swap first. Oh, okay. So he uses his ultimate to try and clear out the wave. He's worried about where Canyon is. So Wonder backs off. And this is where we get to see... So this is really good from Chovy. This is where you get to see why Chovy's a really good player. So this played, I don't actually think he wants to all in. I don't think he wants to all in at all. So he disengages, but then he sees the Elise, and then he creates a gap between him and the Elise because he knows where Jankos is going. So he punishes the fact that Jankos overcommits, and then this ult should actually miss, and then Caps flashes back into it. So either he predicts the flash, which I'd be surprised, or Caps just messes up here. But he gets the reset on his Q, and then he's able to find the kill. He did cost him his flash there, but that was really well played by Chovy. Just very good awareness. And now Griffin actually look like they have a little bit more control. They're a little bit slower because Ornn, I think, helped clear out the top wave, whereas Renekton couldn't approach the bot wave. So they're actually securing the tower first. You can see the Griffin feeling a little bit more confident. It was a good swap from them. Oh, they actually still haven't taken the tower. So now they're behind in tempo, which means that the Kaiser can reset, come back out onto the map. Ooh, Wonder's overextending a little bit. I say oh, a little bit. He's really overextending. It's really bad from Wonder. Never should have put him on my top 20 list. Stick to carries, Wonder. Tanks, Omega lol. Alright, Jankos is kind of like... I feel like Jankos should be clearing his bot side now. Because what's he going to do top lane? I wonder if he's trying to hope that they stick around. So I think this is what Jankos means as well, where he thinks that a couple of misplays. There are definitely a couple plays just now that G2 didn't need to make. Griffin playing well. Yeah, this was good from Chovy. He's a good player, dude. Good player. Alright, so G2 now swap to top side. Griffin gonna match. Drake spawned in a minute, so there's no need to swap back down towards bot lane, and there are plates to play for. Griffin didn't actually secure that top tower, by the way, which is good for G2. Because it just helps them maintain a little bit more control on the map, and you can see how much further the Ornn can now push, which means he has way more time, a much bigger window to set up deep vision on Griffin's side of the map, but also look for a roam. And look at this, they push in bot, they roam in mid, they also had prio top, so they start roaming mid as well. So Chovy's immediately forced to back away. This gives Caps access to the tower, and they secure some more plates. Oh, okay, Chovy. Trying to zone them away with the ulti, couple ultis used there. Oh. Perks actually let the tower fall. Yeah, look. Interesting. I wonder why he let the tower fall. Maybe he actually just thought it was worse to have up. I mean, the gold doesn't go anywhere because no one's nearby. Denied the gold. No, I mean, that's, yeah. Yeah. It must be. Makes sense. Because, like, at that point, the tower's not really alive anyway, you know? So just denying the gold. Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. And the wave does, in fact, push into him. Yeah, that's a good point, Twitch chat. That is a great point. Because when he clears this wave... I mean, Lucian does catch it, but the wave will push. Which is good. So G2 just get a free Cloud Drake. Which seems a little weird to me, but I guess neither team really wants to contest it. So G2 with a small gold advantage. I spawn Gauntlet Rush on the Ornn. I respect it. It's just got a little bit more trading power behind it. I like it. G2 choosing not to overcommit to the tower, instead choose to reset. What do they do with the reset? Immediately path towards mid. So they don't care about the top tower. They're probably going to... So initially I thought that they might look to try and trade bot pressure for mid. So like they know they're going to lose bot tower, so they will just try and use the numbers to force down mid, but they don't have a wave. So it looks like that they're actually going to... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Where was I? I lost my place. God damn it. Was I here? I can't remember. Yeah, we were here, I think. A little bit further than this. Here we go. We were here. My bad. So what do they do? Oh. Okay. What the ping, 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 ping. What the hell? What? So they have this ward right here, and they're like, ping, 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 ping. They're here, by the way. They're here. FYI. Griffin, they're here. Better. God damn it, Lahans, what are you doing? He can even ward this over the wall, which is safer. But he knows they're there. I don't know. That was trolling. That was really bad. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Okay. Oh, that's really... to be honest, though, I don't even know what his goal is here. Because even if he actually goes that way, even if he goes over the wall here, like, do they really find an engage on this? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know what his goal was here. I don't know why he just... why would you ult before as well? I don't know. Maybe with his flash? Yeah? You reckon with his flash? The problem is we can't really see, because... But, like, G2 immediately start pathing upwards. I don't know. To build Fury. Oh, Twitch chat with the big brain. See, this is why, if you're watching from the VOD, you need to be part of the Twitch chat. The Twitch chat gives the real analysis. I'm just here to look pretty. So that's the point. It's to build Fury. Fuck. Twitch chat. See, you learn something new every day. You learn something new. I'm proud of you, Twitch chat. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. All right, so that's why he ults early to get the Fury. So it makes sense. So we're not critical of Sword for that. But I can't tell if he wanted to dash over the wall or not because we don't get to see it. So we'll give Sword the benefit of the doubt. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, fair enough. Good rotation towards top after securing mid. They secure all the outer towers and Griffin can't trade anywhere. Okay, so what do both these teams want to do next? Well, remember what we said in draft, right? I felt that Griffin wanted to try and get their solo laners ahead. Now, Chovy's in a pretty decent position, but with 17 minutes in, he hasn't quite completed his Trinity Force. He wants to get that done. Sword also wants his Spear of Shojinjun. Once they have those items, and with Black Cleaver... Wow, Black Cleaver on Lucian. I'm pretty confident we don't normally see this build. Pardon me. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad build. I know it's one that is done on Lucian, but I for some reason, I'm convinced that this isn't the common one that we currently see from most Lucian. Like, Essence Reaver is the one that comes to mind for Lucian players. But yes, I think, like, it's part to deal with to get through the tanks, the front line, the Blade of the Ruin King, and to provide with a little bit of extra, like, kiting and mobility. But Griffin isn't really strong enough to fight just yet, and they don't feel confident for it. So they probably just want to keep farming for the next few minutes. Just keep catching waves. And G2's in a similar boat. Because I think that they don't need to force anything too hard right now. Drake spawned in about a minute 40. They'll just keep clearing out vision to control that area of the map. Top pushes out. Yep, they don't overcommit anywhere. But you can see how Griffin is kind of forced to just use their vision to clear out their own half of the map, which helps G2 maintain control over River. I'm surprised by how much G2 is investing towards topside, but I think it's just to allow Perks to play like he is. And again, like, this is something that when we say Perks is, like, revolutionized how AD carries are played, I know this is a bit of an extreme example, but things like this are kind of like funnel strats, but they're not quite as extreme. But the whole strategy and game plan from Jankos and Mickey is literally just allowing Perks to solo farm. And look at how pushed up into this lane he is. And Sword can't do anything because he's covered. He has vision at risk of being collapsed, and he had the support, and Sword doesn't know if this is going to happen. So this is all about funneling resources into Perks, and normally he does this by himself when he has teleport. When he's on things like Xayah, he doesn't even get this kind of vision. He does it by himself. And this is how, like, 3 members of G2 always get a bunch of resources and a bunch of farm, and, like, this is why he's sitting at 211 CS right now. Like, well above. Like, people talk about how Uzi is, and this is where he gets greedy, but people talk about, like, how Uzi gets resources funneled into him at the cost of other people. This is how G2 do it for Perks, and how he gets ahead. I think he could have flashed here, but I think he was worried that they would collapse on him. So this was bad from Perks. He shouldn't have tried to take walls here. And now Griffin have priority over bot river. Wonder needs to be careful. He might get dived, so he's forced to back off. And note here how G2 are pushing in mid, securing this wave so that Griffin can't immediately convert it into mid tower. This allows G2 to reset. Oh, he got unlucky there. That wall just pushed him over. So, easy Drake for Griffin. Caps has TP, Wonder has TP. So do a bit of an item check-in. You can see that 3 items are now done for Perks. He's going for more of the AD build to not over-index on AP. Trinity Force, Black Cleaver is now being done. Shojin not ready yet, but Griffin probably still feel pretty strong right now. They could look to try and force some fights if they wanted to, but it's hard because who do you engage onto? There's such a strong front line and with all these TPs up. All right, so we get a bit of a fight here. So we talked about how Griffin is probably pretty ready to fight. G2 is probably in a similar position. Very early Void Staff with a lot of magic resistance coming out, so that makes sense for Caps. Chovy recognizes Wonder's pretty low on mana, so he goes for an all-in. Doesn't respect the jungler is bot side, and he gets engaged in a 2v1. The teleport comes through, but it doesn't matter. Sorry, because a counter teleport is matched from Caps. So they end up getting the initial kill. Sword then overcommit. I'm going to slow this down. Sword overcommits because he flashes in to get this kill. Jankos realizes he's in a dangerous situation here, but he uses stopwatch to buy more time. And look at this. Look at this. You can see that Canyon and Lehen, are forced to take the long way around because the Leona has priority, or at least is first into this choke point, which means that Tarzan has to go around, which means that Mickey gets to the fight first. Perks is forced to flash to avoid Tarzan, but this is basically just Griffin second to the fight in every capacity. And then Perks gets himself a double kill, and now he's Giga fed, and his Mana Mune is now completed, or Mirror Mana. I forget which one is which. Yeah. But here, it's just like, I think this is just a lack of respect from Chovy. This is like what you do in solo queue, you know? You're like, I can kill this guy, and he's right, but he's not respecting the map state because he has no vision control around bot side of the map. Do you remember how we were talking about how Perks got all this vision when he was this far pushed up? Chovy has none of that. So he's just going in blind. And there's a risk that Jankos is there, which he is. So then, of course, he's thinking, well, it's fine. Sword has TP here, but so does Caps. So they're always at a numbers disadvantage. So even though it trades 1-for-1 initially, they're down numbers. And then again, because of the positioning of Leona, Griffin is forced to take the long way around. So again, numbers disadvantage, 3 versus 2. Again, they get a good pick initially, but they're split off from the rest of the team. Perks can follow. And like you can just see how Griffin have not thought about trying to go for these fights, and G2 have just been in a better position to answer. And then because Leona is tanky as fudge, she's able to just set up the dive, and then G2 get another tower. And the one window with which we thought Griffin might look to try and fight, they end up getting punished. And the only reason why Wonder is pushing this far up, right, just bear that in mind. The only reason why a top laner would push this far is because he knows he has support. It's like, this is just greedy from Chovy. I do not agree. Anyway. So they keep up prior with mid. The gold is ballooning. Now they're setting up for Baron because they feel very strong. I want to see the items. Chovy still has TP, so he's fine splitting bot. They'll send Wonder down there to deal with him. He probably won't die now. Well, he still might actually, because he doesn't have that much armor. Notice that Tarzan still actually hasn't completed his second item, whereas Zonya's is now finished for Yankos. He's so far behind. He's been really far behind the whole game. And this guy's Viper's irrelevant now. Imagine looking at Perks' items and then as a Lucian thinking, yeah, I can win. There's just no way. Yeah, G2 is so strong. Oh, I'm going to speed the game back up. So they gain control and then they just start it. They don't need perfect setup. They know they have control of the river and they just melt through it. Such a good Baron. So good. Little time wasted. They don't have like the perfect setup, but it's good enough. Ornn is there. They didn't need him to TP in. He's in a position to contest. Aurelia's nowhere near. And he gets taken right from underneath them. Let's have a look. So they start the Baron at... They start the Baron at 23:45. And it's dead at 55. 10 seconds. Crazy fast. Good awareness from G2. Very good Baron. Now let's see how they use it. Wonder breaking through the wall. So he's losing a lot of farm bot, but he doesn't care. He's just helping the team siege. They're all resetting now. And at this point, Griffin are very limited in terms of their options. So yeah, I think at this point in the game, this is why I say, this is why I think G2's comp can outscale. Because I look at this and I'm like, even if Griffin were even on items right now, how do they win fights? Like, how do they get through this Ornn and Leona? I don't know. I don't think they can. And I mean, it's easy to say from this position because Perks is giga-fed. Oh, no. And look at this flank from Sword. It's so far away. Mickey gets kind of screwed there. Oh, this actually wasn't that great of a fight for G2. Oh, I mean, it ends up becoming a great fight for G2. Yeah, it ends up becoming a really good fight for G2. Initially, this wasn't super good because, so I think Griffin wanted to try and collapse on Perks. They end up funneling into a choke point. Good ulties. But then Chovy keeps two members off the backside, and then Mickey ends up being the frontliner. You can see the shockwave here. Doesn't actually land on anyone because a good flash from Tarzan, and Lehens is in stasis, which means he's now on the front line without proper support because Caps gets zoned away by Lehens. So he gets kind of screwed, and then Sword is in the middle of them all, but Viper and Lehens can't help. Tarzan has everything on cooldown, so Griffin's like, yeah, we're out. Sorry. And then they end up getting run down. So, I mean, ultimately, it is a good fight for G2. Initially, it didn't look very good, but it was fine. And now I think the game's over. Yep. That ult, I think, was just a zoning ult. Uh-oh. Oh, well. Never mind. Oh, no. Caps actually missed, like, every shockwave this game. He landed one in bot Tribrush. Oh, no. Look at Perks on Chovy. Did I miss something? Oh. Oh. Look. Oh. Look at that. What was that? Oh, what was that? Umayam, by the way. Holy moly. Oh, my words. What the hell? Oh, man. That's nutty. That's nutty. Perks, PogChamp. Damn, man. I'm just saying, I put him as my rank 2 player. I expected him, you know. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. So they're going to wait for next Baron to spawn. They weren't able to end it this time around, but looks like G2 are not slowing down. There's very little left to review in this game. The game is over. Yep, another zoning ultimate from Wonder. That's the one window for Griffin to try and fight, but too little, too late. They're a little split off right now, but they're just making their way towards bot lane. Want to secure the final inhib. Baron is up in 45. Ooh. Let's watch this. He actually lands a shockwave. Oh. That was a good shockwave. Perks doesn't deserve credit for that one. That was all caps. Boom. Nicely done. Oh, very quick QSS from Perks as well. Wait, he dodged that one as well. What the fudge? Oh my word. What the... Stop it, Perks. Look at this. Look. Look. But he does it on purpose. Look. Wait, there's a button that does it like frame by frame. He's doing it on purpose. God. And then he instantly QSS's the... Well, I think Griffin didn't play too good. I think Tarzan's early path screwed a lot up. And I think Griffin, they needed to play through their solo lanes. And they royally messed it up. It was so bad because of how horrible things went for Tarzan in his early pathing and early game. It was like really bad. And then I think like Tarzan did not make a lot of good decisions in the early game. I think he got punished a lot. But the problem is it wasn't like it wasn't he who was punished. It was his teammates. Sword ended up getting punished because Canyon left his lane too early. He then didn't path towards top to cover for the potential dive. And then he baited his team into an invade bot side when they didn't have proper prio. And they ended up getting killed. So like Tarzan's early game wasn't great. G2 was not perfect this game, but a lot of their mistakes were just positioning mistakes. I think Wonder got greedy a couple times. Caps died 1v1. I think the bot lane played pretty flawlessly. I think Yankees had a great game. But I think there was a clear gap between G2 and Griffin. I think G2 were super proactive, very good use of vision. I love their Baron take. It was very simple, very clean. I was very surprised. This was a very, very good game from G2 Esports for the most part. Yeah, thought it was a very good game. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on the YouTubes, be sure to subscribe because I release, really good content. And come join us on Twitch chat. Twitch chat was 5head today. They taught us all so much. So you should come. You should come follow. And you can find out all the stuff. Anyway, that's going to do it for the YouTube VOD. Goodbye.